Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I want to show you a couple of string skipping ideas that you can incorporate into your playing. And I'm not going to lie and say they're really easy, because they're not. If you're not familiar with the technique, it's simply just a matter of, instead of playing notes that are sequential, from string to string, you're actually going to be skipping over strings, and there's some cool sounds and things that you can get from doing that. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so the very first one is one that this is just something I made up a long time ago. When I first got introduced to string skipping, it was through Paul Gilbert, and the stuff that he does, a lot of the string skipping stuff he does is incredibly difficult, but I actually am going to show you the very first thing that I learned it from a Paul Gilbert lick. So this thing that I did is much simpler. So basically what it is I'm playing the notes of a scale, but instead of just playing straight up the scale, I'm using some legato, some hammer-ons and pull-offs, and I'm skipping over every other string. So this is in the key of E minor, and I'm using the fifth position of the scale. So if you know your modes, it's the Dorian pattern, or not the Dorian pattern, the Mixolydian pattern, and it's going to be starting on D. So we're starting on D here on the 10th fret of the low E string. So the sequences is 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14, 11, 12, 14, 12, 13, 15, and 12, 14, 15. And I don't remember exactly why I decided that this was the pattern that I wanted to use for doing this. It may have just been because of being in the key in E minor, that it was just the location that it was on the fretboard. But anyway, this idea can be used for any of the 7 modes of the 3-note per string scales. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do legato. So I'm going to pick and hammer, hammer, and then I'm going to skip the A string and go to the D string, and I'm going to pick, hammer, hammer, pull, pull. So at first you might actually want to start off with that, as just play the 3 notes on the low E and then jump to the D string. Then, now I just simply start on the A string and do the same thing, but now I'm going to skip the D string and go to the G string. So when I go back to the A string, it's the same pattern, but when I go to the G string, now I have to move up a half step. So I'm at 11, 12, 14. So far, whoops. Now we'd start on the D string and go to the B string, then to the G string, to the high E. So as you can see, it's not a super easy one to play, but it's not incredibly difficult either. It's just something you just have to work with it. I would just break it down like that. Work on it when you can play just the E and the D string, and then work on adding in the A string. And so on and so forth across the board. Okay, so then the one that I wanted to show you that, like I said, this is the one that first got me into this, from Paul Gilbert. And instead of being out of the scale, it's actually a string skipping arpeggio. So we start off here, we're on the 7th fret of the G string with your first finger, and I'm gonna do this legato. It seems like he may have picked all this, but I can't, pick anywhere near as fast and efficient as Paul Gilbert does. So I'm going to do it with legato too. So I'm going to, starting at the 7th fret, it's pick, and then hammer to the 9th fret, and then hammer to the 12th. So it's a pretty big stretch right there. Then I'm going to skip the B string and go to the high E, and I'm going to go 7, 10, 12. So you pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer, pull, pull, back to the G string, pick, pull, pull, and then skip over the D string and end on the 10th fret of the A string. So. Now, the way he does it, and I do it too, and I recommend you to try to work this into it too. So is that there's one more note, but he actually taps it. So when you get up to the high E, then tap the 15th fret, pull, pull, pull. So this one is quite a bit more difficult than the one, at least in my opinion, than the one that I made up. And I think this sounds a lot cooler too. Now you can also do some stuff like that. Just tap some different notes up and down that are in the scale. So I'm doing this, I'm doing down, hammer, hammer, up, hammer, hammer, pull, pull, down, pull, pull, pull. Just like that. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that and you got something out of it. String skipping is a pretty cool technique, and it's just a really easy way to take, to add a little musicality to, just to a major scale. Like I said, you can do that same idea for the one that I made up just by moving it around, changing keys, but also changing the sequence. So any of the 3-note per string 7 major modes work really, really well for doing that. Some are a little more harder than others just because of the the transitional changes and stuff like that. It seems like I played around with it and I decided that just Mixolydian was the best for me, but that may not be the case for you. I've had students before that have done this that did really well with Ionian. Another one that he really liked it, but he liked to do it with Locrian, of all things. Anyway, that is all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching, and if you like this lesson, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if there's something you'd like to see covered in a future lesson, either by myself or somebody else here at GuitarControl.com. And thanks for watching, and have a great day.